You need to get the people you do know out to your show. Even though you know one day they're not going to be your fans and they'll stop coming, you got to get them in that room because the strangers that are in the room don't know that you know all those people personally. To them, it just looks like a crowded house that feeds your energy as a performer. It's going to feel more excited. And somehow we get like tricked or brainwashed into being more attentive and being more impressed by things that look like they're exciting and look like other people are into it. So you got to use your friends and family to fool other people into listening more than they might otherwise. And again, that's not to say your music isn't good. You just need to get them in the mindset that you're cooler than your friends think you are.
Yeah, it's like a magic trick. But actually, I think obviously we just went on and on about these people aren't your true fans, but you need to harness these folks to at the beginning very strategically to make other people like, oh, it's okay to like this band. It's like that
They
social
want
proof.
permission. That's what they
They
want,
want
permission to
permission
like
to
you.
like, and also it's a great opportunity to get photos that you can use on your website and social that again is that social proof and permission for other people. It's like, oh, other people like this band. I'll give it a shot. So, yeah, use them strategically, knowing that that window of time is limited and they are not your true fans.
Yeah, another thing is no matter how many people are at the show, even if you show up and you're like, no one's going to be here, set up your merch booth, which I suppose also means you need to have some kind of merch, even if that's just handmade artwork or cheap stickers you can pass out, just something to draw people to a focal point where you'll have an email list or SMS, cell phone number collection list, something like that. It should be well lit. You should absolutely set it up even if you're like, "Oh, we're not really ready for this yet," because that is gonna be well, we'll talk about it later, but it's gonna be a very important place to meet with fans after your show or people who you
Yeah.
wanna turn into fans.
Yeah. I mean, this is just a tip in general, especially because it happens when you're starting out. There may not be many people there. Have that merch booth. And if you're an artist that's been playing and the show's poorly attended or it's feeling like not a great night, the number one mistake bands make and artists make is pulling that merch booth like, oh, I don't want to set up. I'm embarrassed. It's like, no, the people that showed up should not be treated like second class citizens because 100 other people didn't come out. They came out, give them the goods. And that merch booth, like you said, is really a point of contact for people, and it's a place to grab email addresses. And sometimes you have those show where it doesn't seem like many people are there or into it, and you go back to your merch table, and if you've had like an email list sign up sheet out, you see a few names on there and like, hey, those people are people that felt compelled to put their name down even when it wasn't full or like the most amazing night.
Yeah.
Reward those people, follow up. I mean, those are the people you want to start collecting. So oftentimes we have a wrong viewpoint, like we should start with herds of people swarming the merch table because it's our first gig, and that's just not how it works. So that's
Yeah.
one of the big places I see missed opportunity over and over again.
Yeah, and make sure it's well lit, and if you do have things for sale, make sure the prices are very, like, clearly on display. I sort of already mentioned this, but I think having some stickers or some buttons or pens or anything that you can make in bulk for really cheap with your band name or a cool graphic or something, have that, and you might even consider just giving it away early on, like,
Yeah.
hey, free pens at my merch booth, go sign the email list. And now they feel that kind of honor system pressure to go and provide contact info.
Yeah. I have found a company, many of you have probably used. They have no way paid me to say this, but Sticker Mule, get on their email list. When you get on their email list, and I don't know if it's just because I bought something from them, but I'm getting these like every couple weeks. I get these insane deals for like this week. It was those metal pins, and it was like I can't remember what the amount was for the pins, but I know like some of the buttons have been like 50 for $29 or stickers 100 for $29. They like the $29 price point. It's always $29. And they send you a free bottle of hot sauce with it, which is
Ooh, sticker mule.
strange
I got to get
and
on
it's
this.
good. It's good hot sauce too. But yeah, those deals are amazing, and it's like take advantage of those. Get some small merch items, some stickers, some buttons or pins that are cheap. Even if you just spread those out across a merch table and an email list sign up, It'll do more to present yourself as like a band that's doing something and give them away, like getting people to, start repping you and providing that legitimacy, visual legitimacy other places. And don't
Yeah.
worry about just the sale, because those things are so cheap that it's worth just getting it in people's hands, because then they have that a little extra connection and feel like, oh, that's cool. They gave me this for free. I'll wear that button.
Yeah, the next thing on my list is something I should do a lot more than I have, but anytime I have done it, it's been really, really helpful, which is find someone in your little community who doesn't mind being like a social butterfly, sort of a salesperson, as long as they're not too pushy, and have them go around the room throughout your gig and after the gig with an email contact list or an SMS collection list or whatever. Maybe send them out with those stickers or buttons and have them go to every person in the room and like, hey, did you like the show? Like, if you want to get on their list, here's a free sticker. And you don't want that person to like badger or guilt people into signing the email list, because that's a worthless contact. They're going to unsubscribe. You want those people who truly liked your music. But to have someone else out there doing the work for you can be so great. You'll leave with way more emails than you would if you simply waited on people to come approach you.
Yeah, here's a trick. Just thought of this. Just print out a full sheet of paper size QR code, like if it's on like cardboard or poster board or something, so it's a little more or substantial, put on a clipboard and have someone walk around and just have people scan the QR code with their phones, and it could take it to an email sign up or SMS sign up form. And then if they do that, they could get access to one of your tracks or something special, something like that. So like they've got their phone, they can do it. They don't have to take a pen. You can just have everyone real quickly scan it. That's also something you could do from the stage. And it's kind of fun, interactive thing with the audience. Just get them to take some sort of action that gets you some contact information, because even if they're not super fans or all of them are like, okay, I just feel the social pressure to scan this QR code because someone's in my face, at least you're starting to get people, because you were talking about getting those true fans. You're getting people that are there. You're getting people that have had some sort of experience or connection with you. And now you're able to contact and communicate with them further.
Yeah, and that reminds me of something that was on our list for later, but I'll mention it now, is you could do a giveaway. If you announce from the stage, hey, everyone that, scans this QR code, gives contact information, I'm going to pick one or two of you tonight to give a free t-shirt to or whatever, or send you home with something cool. So like you could say it from the stage and literally everyone will do it all at once. So,
and your giveaways don't have to be just your band gear. If you have, people love free crap. I don't know why it is. And if you give them something of value, they go crazy for it. So like you could have like two $10 Amazon gift cards or something, and people will lose their minds trying to get signed up for the chance to win that. It's so funny to watch people at like games and concerts when they're throwing t-shirts into the crowd. People are like diving from the upper tiers.
I'm imagining
just to get a free
band
t-shirt with branding all over it.
I'm imagining the artist on stage with the gun that shoots the shirts and stuff. Here's one that's really important. And I know we're all such tortured geniuses. After our show, we need to retreat to our sanctuary of aloneness and cheap beer.
I must not be disturbed.
I must not, but get over yourself and go directly to the merch booth afterwards and tell people, write it into your set list that you're going to call out your merch or call out the fact that you're going to be over at the booth and you'd love to meet everyone who came, and go immediately there after you get your stuff off stage. Of course, if there's another band playing, get off stage, then go to the merch booth.
Yeah. And if you don't have a merch booth for whatever reasons, maybe the venue doesn't permit it or whatever, be visible and say hi to people as they're walking or saying, thanks for coming. Hope you liked it. Just make that point of contact, because once you do that, people feel a little bit more obligated to follow up. Maybe they will go and listen, and maybe they will come again, so that personal connection, and it just sets yourself apart from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, and when you're doing that and having these conversations, there's a weird balance between, you don't want to be a diva on the one hand, you don't want to be inaccessible and condescending to someone who's talking to you, and at the same time you don't want to be too shy too, because like it's perfectly fine to say, after you've had some small talk and met this person, be like, hey, are you interested in a CD or a shirt or whatever. Like you still want to have the confidence to ask this person to do something and not feel like you're being cheesy salesman. So you in some way you kind of have to talk yourself up, get in a mode of like, even if you have to fake it, like fake some confidence so eventually you get some results out of this.
We're all
And then
artists. We're all faking confidence.
right. Right. But definitely don't be on the other side of it too. Like don't be all about yourself or aloof, because I can think of a lot of the people I still consider like my true fans. Many of them are people I met at shows and I was just being accessible and, just human. So,
Yeah, when you're playing live, there's a lot of opportunities where you can make connections around stuff that might be of interest to someone, or a conversation starter that makes them, okay, I like these guys, or this group of individuals or that artist. It's like sometimes it's someone comes up, starts asking you about your gear. Don't blow them off. Sometimes they are asking because they don't know what else to say and they just want to say they liked your music. So those awkward conversations, it's oftentimes people don't know what to say to show. And so it's like, be ready with a few things like, oh, you're interested in my gear. Oh yeah, this is how we use it. And or if someone's like, oh, you sounded good. Hey, we've got another show coming up. We'd love to have you out, and being ready to look for those opportunities of connection with people is what I'm trying to say. Because, you know, I've been at shows where someone comes up and they're like asking about your gear, and I've seen people just get blown off by like, I'm too busy tearing my gear down to talk to you, or finding that opportunity to build those relationships because you're doing something they're interested in. Let's make sure we're throwing a little fuel on the fire and not just blowing people off, because I think oftentimes that's what happens in the live space.
yeah, we sort of touched on the next thing I wanted to mention, but I think if you're a solo artist, you should know it yourself. If you're in a band, you should discuss it and determine what your next priority is. And everyone have one priority in mind to communicate as they're talking to people in the audience. So it might be, hey, in 2 weeks, we're playing at this venue. I hope you come to the show. Tell your friends. If you have a gig coming up, maybe that's your priority. If you have a CD that's about to come out or a new record, or if you want everyone to go on Spotify and follow you there, make sure everyone's communicating the same priority so people have a very clear idea of how to help you. And then along those lines, I sort of already said this too, but write a bunch of stuff into your set list that aren't just the song. So the merch call out, or telling people you'll be at such and such a place in the venue to meet them. But not just that, write into your set list when you're going to talk about the meaning of a song or some dramatic event in your life or something super funny, because a lot of times people in the audience need that extra musical hook to buy into the emotions that are in your song. So it might be that you told a story that made them sad and then you play the song. That could be the thing that makes them a fan forever, is the fact that you wrote on your set list to tell that story. You're
Take
laughing. What?
away, make everyone sad at your shows.
What's isn't there what's Mary Gaucher's thing? You got to make them cry, laugh, and something else. Spend money
Yeah.
at the bar or something. I don't know what the third
Well,
thing is, but
I like that because, again, talking about finding those first true fans, I've been in the band and I've also seen so many bands where this is their in between song thing. We've got a merch table in back. All right, next song. That is not a call out to the merch booth. Okay, we're not saying there's a merch booth. Like we're not doing pointing out the obvious for people that, oh, that's what that table is with all the merch stuff on it. No, it's like make some sort of connection about, like, take a merch on if you've got cool stickers or if there's a story behind why you liked a particular merch item, like draw some sort of connection. Or wouldn't it be cool if everyone here was wearing a button right now? We've got buttons at our merch table. you know, make it
I'm
fun and interesting.
I'm laughing because so many musicians, including myself, have all been guilty of doing that thing that you just said. My name's Chris Riley. I have some stuff. Like, what bullshit? We're on stage. We want to be worshipped. We want them all to shut up and listen and think we're amazing and then clap like they've never clapped before. But then when we're like, this is my name, why aren't we so like, this is my name. Go to my merch booth, buy my shit, like, love me. But no, instead it's like, I want you to love me. What the hell? Why do we do that?
Well, that's one of these things. It's not on the notes here, but my biggest pet peeve of seeing artists is when they don't say what their name is. And I would say I was just at South by Southwest couple weeks ago, went to a bunch of independent showcases and shows that by artists that I didn't know who they were. Most of them didn't say who they were. If I wanted to know, I had to go do the work and look it up. And it's like, I can't be a diehard fan if I don't even know your name. Tell me
Yeah,
your name.
get over yourself. You're on stage. Like, you want attention. What the hell?
I think to sum it up, what I think all these tips point to is be intentional with every moment of what you're doing. I can tell you, if you've listened to the podcast for a long time, you've heard me talk about the humiliating in store things we used to do at Walmart for small town poets way back in the day. We had this gigantic, mega sized merch booth set up in the men's department, playing acoustic guitars as the people of Walmart go by, and nobody cared. We felt stupid, but then we met some of our biggest diehard fans that had driven miles, flown places, have brought massive amount of people to come see us because of those humiliating experiences. Now, I'm not saying the humiliation is the important part. I'm talking about being intentional with what you're doing, because it may seem like a small interaction or not super, life changing, but it could really amount to something. And it starts with being intentional with every moment you have while you are out being your artist persona, your musician career, being intentional.
Maybe to state the completely obvious, you don't jump from 0 to 20,000 fans. You have 0 fans, and then you have 1 fan, and then you have 3 fans, and then you have 5, and then 20. Like, you got to start with lots of little interactions.
Yeah, you're not going to luck your way into this. I mean, that's just not how it's going to happen. You got to be intentional.